Ladies and gentlemen, we are live at Circuit of the Americas for the running of race number 14 of 36 on our final season of NASCAR 21 Ignition. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into tonight's full race with a live realistic commentary here in this one. This is going to be a fun one. Of course, the NASCAR Cup Series and really all three of the top series in the sport of NASCAR are at COTA this weekend, so I wanted to save this COTA race for this weekend on NASCAR 21 Ignition. The Cup race will be tomorrow afternoon on the channel. We'll be doing live commentary of that as well as a predictions live stream on the channel leading up to the start of the race, so definitely tune in for that tomorrow. I've had a lot of fun watching the race with you guys. Those streams have really popped off this year, end of last year as well, but this year we've had a couple hundred people watching each and every one of those streams, so plan to see plenty of you guys there in the chat tomorrow as well. But as far as tonight, we got to get down to business. Of course, our driver Ryan Blaney comes in just barely inside the top 10 in points. Has been a rough stretch as of late. 2 DNFs in the last 3 races, and he has not finished inside the top 20 in the last 3 races. He came off a 21st place finish at Dover in the last race last week, so we'll see what he can do this week at Circuit of the Americas, again, COTA, for a Grand Prix. A Grand Prix, I guess you would say, for NASCAR. So we have qualifying for you guys here tonight, session qualifying, and then the race. We were supposed to get things started at 7 o'clock tonight, but I also did say I was going to wait until after the Xfinity race ended. The Truck Series race went long, so therefore with the Truck race going long, the Xfinity race got started a little bit later than what it was originally expected to, hence it didn't get done until a little bit ago. Congratulations to Zane Smith and AJ Allmendinger for winning their respective races. Zane Smith winning the Truck race today, and AJ Allmendinger just winning the Xfinity race less than a half hour ago. And that is going to wrap up the intro. Let's get into tonight's qualifying for our race at COTA. Have not raced here in a while.
Focus up. Let's get at it.
Haven't played this game in a while either. We're going to have to hope to not get any invalidated laps on this course. From what I remember on the road courses on this game, if you go wide, it gives you an invalidated. It black flags you for going wide, even though you're not cutting the course. And you see drivers do that in real life too. So we're going to have to make sure we keep all 4 tires on the actual racing groove at all times in today's race. Traction control will be on medium. Steering assist definitely on medium as well. Going through the S's is definitely where Blaney is going to be able to gain a lot of time on those other drivers in today's race. Qualifying, that's going to be the big points of emphasis as well. Session qualifying, the top 12 will advance into the second session. So that's all Blaney's trying to do here. He's going to put down 2 laps in this first session and then hope that that's going to be quick enough to get him into session number 2, and he'll go for the pole time and run all 10 minutes in that second group if he makes it. For Express DB Forever 85, Michael Crane, and many others, welcome to the stream. Yeah, low battery. I'll put it on the charger after qualifying. No big deal. At least this game it pauses. Trying to figure out where to brake into this heavy braking zone after the longest straightaway on the racetrack. Blaney's just tiptoeing on this first lap of qualifying, just to try to get refamiliarized with the racetrack. No practice coming into this race today, just hopping right in. The session qualifying will be his practice, so hopefully he can make it to the second session so he can at least have a handful of laps in before today's race. Gonna have to be very patient. The road courses were, well, I should say we've only had 1 road course race on the year so far. This is the second race of the year at the Daytona road course. Ryan Blaney had 1 stage 1 in that race, but he had problems throughout, and he was unable to get a good finish by the end of things. And back onto the main straight to the start-finish line. First lap is a 2-minute, 19-second lap, .870. Looking to pick the time up on lap number 2. Michael Turner, welcome to the stream as well. So again, if we go off course at all, we are going to get penalized 1 lap for it. That's how strict the penalty system is in NASCAR 21 Ignition. And as the tires wear out on the longer green flag runs, that's going to make it difficult as well. Blaney did keep 2 tires up on the curbing that time. Even if he was wide, I think he's all right. I don't think he got penalized for it. It's one thing to push it in qualifying. He's definitely going to be a lot more patient in the race. Needs to be. Patrick Shadley, welcome. The Dinger got the W at COTA. Yes, he did. I'm going to try to go for the sweep tomorrow in the Cup race as well. I think he's got a fair shot. A lot deeper into this heavy braking zone compared to lap 1. Dex imaging paint scheme for Blaney today. He's going to go wide that time. It's going to cost him some time on this lap. Even without the invalidated lap, that's going to be very, very costly. He doesn't need to sit on the pole in round 1. He just has to be in the top 12. And one more turn to go. 90-degree left-hander. Sets it all the way down to the bottom. Eases his way back to the throttle. Now hammers down onto the straightaway. Back uphill to the start-finish line. And this lap is a lot quicker. 2:16.909. And we'll see if that's going to be quick enough to get Blaney into session 2. And it is not. Wow, 20 seconds. So he did make a mistake. Definitely made a mistake, and that's going to be very costly for Ryan Blaney because he will not make it into the second session. So he's going into the race with only 2 laps of experience. Tyler Reddick was fastest in session 1. Kyle Larson made it to the second session along with Kyle Busch, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Joey Logano, Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman, Kevin Harvick, Cole Custer, Kurt Busch, and Daniel Suarez. And we will not get to see who is actually going to qualify on the pole. It's just going to jump us straight into the race. We will get to see the top 10 at least, or the top 12 and how they ordered up. I was reaching down for something. I knocked the mic right out of my ear.
Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas. I'm Alex Sadie, and we're at one of America's newest road courses, known for hosting some of the most high-profile
Now I'm caught.
motorsports in the world.
There we go.
This track is full of elevation changes.
That's okay. Alex has it under control with the intro right now.
Challenge the drivers today.
I think we're okay.
You can hear the excitement of the fans as the drivers get ready for the command. Let's head trackside here at Circuit of the Americas.
Having some technical difficulties over here. I'm trying to get things situated. Trying to get to my charger, and I knocked the headphone out of my ear. Then I got it tangled around my fan cord. And then when I got it untangled from the fan cord, it was still wrapped around my microphone in a weird spot. So I think I've got everything under control now. We're about to get this race underway. Take a look at this top 10. Tyler Reddick was not only fastest in the first session of qualifying, but he was also fastest in session 2, which means Tyler Reddick will be on the pole in today's Echo Park Grand Prix at COTA. Kyle Larson will start outside front row in second. Kyle Busch will come in on inside of row 2 with Byron to his outside. Chase Elliott and Joey Logano in row 3. Logano actually took over the regular season points lead after the race at Dover from Kyle Larson. So interesting there as somebody has ran Larson down in the point standings. Christopher Bell, Alex Bowman in row 4. Kevin Harvick and Cole Custer will round out the top 10. Then the last of the drivers that made it into session 2 were Kurt Busch, Daniel Suarez. They'll be in row 6. With Kurt Busch on the inside, Daniel Suarez on the outside. Again, Ryan Blaney back in the 22nd starting spot after not a great pair of laps that he ran in that first session of qualifying. So starting mid-pack, and remember, these stages are not long on the road courses, so he's going to have to go to work early, but he's also going to have to be patient at the same time because he needs to keep this car clean. He's finished outside the top 20 in 3 straight races. He wants to put that streak to an end and have a good run today. Green flag is in the air. Tyler Reddick leads the field to the green, and we are racing on NASCAR 21 Ignition at COTA. Big checkup into the first turn. Blaney goes to the outside 3 wide, and he's going to make a ton of passes for position. Up the middle goes one car. I believe that was Daniel Suarez as he splits the middle between Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick. Great pass by Suarez. Now into the S's. Blaney gasses it up, and he gets right back around Suarez. That was a gutsy move. But he got him, and now he gets into the back of Alex Bowman in the 48. Slipping and sliding. 70 degrees, cooler temperatures for the most part. But sunny skies is going to make for a very slick track with the 750 horsepower low downforce package that you saw on all the road courses and short tracks in the Cup Series over the last couple of seasons. Joey Logano checking up. Christopher Bell did not see Blaney, who made the dive bomb move on him, and he just completely chopped him off. Blaney had the position here on Bell, and Bell took his line away right in the middle of the corner. Blaney was able to clear Bowman for 9th place. He's got a lot of catching up to do on the 20 car because that stalled him out quite a bit, but look at Bell. He lost the rear tires. Blaney shoots the gap to get by Bell, and then his teammate Logano now roughs him up. Onto the curbing. Blaney is heavy in the braking zones early in this race. Another crossover from his teammate Joey Logano. Blaney going to get him back, but is he going to be able to stay in front of the 22? And risky game on that excess pavement as well. This is tight racing between the Penske cars. 22 of Logano, the 12 of Blaney. Battling for the 6th position on the opening lap of the race. Blaney is pushing extremely hard right now. Maybe a little too hard in that corner. Only 15 laps in stage 1. Everybody should be able to make it on fuel through the opening stage of today's race. Don't DNF. I will try not to. I like trivia, but not to do it every time we play NASCAR 21 Ignition. And I don't think we have too many quizzes we could really do on there. Into the S's. Blaney should gain that time right back on Logano. And does. Cuts to the bottom. A little contact with his teammate. It's about the 3rd time that the 22 and the 12 have gotten into one another. Well, the first time was pretty much Logano's fault. Blaney slow getting back to the accelerator, working back up through the shifts. He is pulling away from Bell behind him, even though he has battled the 22 car very hard. And Logano squeezes Blaney again. Drag race. Blaney clear. Logano challenging on the outside. Late into the braking zone. And Blaney will hold clear. And we'll see if he can pull away and try to get to Byron now. Not to be rude, but it's kind of unrealistic how you only talk... Well, that's because we're in the point of view of Blaney. I do that with every driver I'm racing as. If we could see the entire field, you know, we'd probably talk about the leaders more than anything else. I do talk about the leaders a lot when I know who's leading. The problem is with NASCAR 21 Ignition is the leaderboard is wrong majority of the time. Well, not wrong, but it's hard to tell who's where majority of the time. When I can, I try to give updates, though. This is no different than if the camera was on the 12 car the entire race on Fox tomorrow, for instance, and You know, they were talking about him a lot. You got to talk about what's on the camera. You give the play-by-play from what the fans are seeing at home. Blaney is close enough to challenge William Byron for 5th into the S's. I think he's going to have a really good opportunity to get around him through these sets of corners. He's there on him. Little bump to the back of the 24. Actually got back to the accelerator in a good spot. He'll pull out of line. Making another dive bomb move to the inside of the 24. This time he's going to clear him back onto the big straightaway. Hey, don't tell me how to commentate my races. I've been doing this for about 2 years now. I'm just joking. Tell me how to commentate my races. The audacity of Furfur Express. I'm going to have to assume that Tyler Reddick is the leader, considering he started on the pole. Him and Larson are definitely 1-2. We're just not aware of exactly who's where. I believe I just saw a glance of Larson in second. It looks like a blue car in second place up there, so I'd assume it's a Hendrick.com's number 5 car. And Tyler Reddick is not too much further ahead of him. Kind of a tight battle right now between Kyle Busch and it looks like Chase Elliott for 3rd. Blaney kind of babied it that time and then gassed it up at the last second a little bit more. Blaney may actually have a shot to win this stage. He has ran some fast laps. A lot of it was that opening lap. There's a big stack up into turn 1 as they went uphill, and Blaney took it 3 wide to the outside and initially gained about 8 positions on that opening lap. Despite the fact that he had qualified in 22nd. I should say in the opening corner he gained 8 positions, then he gained about 6 more by the end of the lap and was able to get up to 8th place. Scared to use the access pavement around every single corner on this track just because I'm scared we're going to get an invalidated lap one of these times. And we do on every other road course we've ran so far since the patches that around the new year, around the holidays that they came out with. Even if you have 2 tires on the curbing, sometimes it'll give you the penalties. But everybody is running that today. It's not like it's just Blaney. That is the preferred line. You saw drivers do that in the truck in the Xfinity race today. You'll be seeing it again in tomorrow's Cup Series race at COTA. As long as they have 2 tires on the curbing, it is deemed legal, and you can use the excess pavement to the outside. Saw some people in comment sections and highlight video for the Truck Series race on NASCAR's YouTube channel say that they hate how the cars are allowed to go wide like that. I would assume that they're referring to how open-wheel race cars do not. Well, open-wheel race cars are a lot lighter and they have more downforce than the stock cars do. The stock cars, or even the trucks for that matter, are a lot heavier and there's a lot less downforce on top of it. So they pretty much have to go wide. That's the only way you're going to see any sort of passing on the racetrack whatsoever, and then let alone not even just the passing part of it, but the speeds are going to be way, way down. They're going to have to baby it through every corner even more than what they might already do around these tighter corners around COTA, which there are quite a few of them. And he's got a big run on Chase for 4th. Already at lap 5. We'll have just 10 laps to go in stage 1 this time by. Reese Cup, welcome to the stream. Peter Conover, welcome as well. Upwards of 17 people watching already in this stream today. Our goal is going to be 30 likes for this stream. It's been a while since we've had 30 for a NASCAR video game stream, but we'll see if we can do that today. Blaney gets around Chase Elliott. Nice clean pass. I don't like what the sky or the track is doing in this race right now. Does anybody else realize that the sun doesn't look realistic right now? It's almost too bright. It's so bright that it's almost making the cars and all the detailed graphics really pixelated. Busch slides the tires in 3rd. Blaney gained a lot of ground through that hairpin. Blaney's going to go for it. At least to set him up through these next couple of corners, but Busch wins the race back to the throttle. Kyle Busch looking to hang on into the finishing corner. Again beats Blaney back to the accelerator. Blaney trying to get as much draft as he can down the main straight. So bright. So you guys are seeing it too. It's not just me. Blaney underneath Busch, clears him with a clean pass in turn 1. And he'll try to pull away into turn 2, and then as they go through the S's, turns 3 through 6. Massive run for the 12. Look at how much time that he was able to gain on Kyle Larson in 2nd place in front of him. Oh my goodness, win the race and you'll donate $100? $10, okay. I was going to say, you don't have to. I'm not going to make you do that. I mean, if you want to. That is very, very generous. Blaney's definitely looking sporty. He didn't qualify well. There was a couple corners he really made a mistake on in session 1, which is why he didn't even get into the top 12. But obviously in the race, he has speed. And he's got plenty of time to get to Reddick and Larson. The only thing is now is, did he use too much of his tires up to get to this point? Plus, Reddick's the one with the clean air. He's going to be the hardest driver to pass. Everybody else in traffic in front of Blaney so far has had to work with dirty air and nothing but it as well. Even Larson with Reddick not that far in front of him. Yeah, Blaney on the pole for the 2nd time in 3 races today. 3rd straight race, Ryan Blaney will be on the front row. That actually shocked me. I didn't get to see qualifying or practice today because I was at work. And I missed all the truck race. I had to watch the highlights because I was also at work. I was able to see the final stage of the Xfinity race, and that was it. Final stage of the Xfinity race, I think I came in with like 4 laps to go in stage 2. That's all the racing I've been able to see today, unfortunately. Oh, if you DNF, I will donate. So win for 100, DNF, you'll donate 10. I don't want to DNF. I want to give you guys the entertainment of getting through the end of this race, too. Blaney guns it off the turtles. Did a great job keeping it off the 5 of Larson. He could have stayed in the gas and ran into the side of him, but he's really trying to race clean, especially now that he is further up through the field. Still early in the race as well. Blaney dive bombs. He's on the curb, and Larson still made contact with him. Back onto the main straightaway. Blaney has a massive run on Kyle Larson. He'll pull out a line to make a pass for 2nd place. He's going to lock the front tires up, but he still gets the car to turn miraculously. And Blaney's up to P2. Trying to get away from Larson, though, who might have a good run in the draft. Blaney will break that draft down the main straightaway. Tyler Reddick is about 2 seconds ahead of the 12, with Larson right on the 12's coattails. Massive, massive run down the hill, bottom of the racetrack. Blaney using the excess pavement to the outside, wide of the curbs. Still pushing hard. You can definitely tell he's lacking for grip right now, 7 laps into this run with how hard he's already pushed the car. All the spots he's gained so far. It's wearing on him. He's definitely going to be pitting at the end of Stage 1. Again, the fuel window tonight is going to be 16 to 18 laps, so 15 laps in Stage 1. They will not have to pit. Stage 2 will be just a couple laps longer, with the final stage being the longest. They will have to make a scheduled stop at some point in that stage. Blaney going to go really wide that time. And Larson's going to close. Gets through that finishing corner really well, with Larson on the attack for second place. Oh, if I don't DNF, 10. My bad, my bad. I misread that not once but twice. I got it the third time, though. Third time's the charm. Blaney almost spun out, getting back into the gas off turn 1 that time. A lot of elevation changes at COTA. Haven't been there in person. One of only 2 road courses in the Cup Series I've not been at in person. And look at the run on Reddick that Blaney has in the Esses. He's definitely getting through there better than every other driver in the field. He gets into the leader. Nearly turned him.
All clear.
That Cheddar's number 8 car is under heavy pressure. Could Tyler Reddick potentially get his first career win today, and maybe even this weekend in real life as well? Not just on this NASCAR 21 ignition season. Blaney didn't feel he was close enough to try and make a pass on Reddick that time. Really trying to arc the corner off, but he goes a little too far wide. Had to lift to keep it out of the grass. Still have 7 laps to go in the stage this time by. Get within the closing laps of the stage, though. Caution could end the stage, so. Definitely want to stay within that striking distance. But you got to think big picture, too. Joey Logano's outside the top 5. He is the regular season points leader. Blaney's just over 100 points back of his teammate Logano in the regular season standings, but he is in the top 10. He's still sitting 8th in points. Playoff points are awarded to each of the top 10 at the end of the regular season. So it's crucial that Blaney has good point stays, because he has lacked that as of late. Oh, into the finishing corner. Blaney nearly turns Reddick. Reddick's still loose. Trying to get the power down. On the straightaway, Reddick's going to block the bottom. Blaney's going to have to go to the outside into turn 1, and they're side by side for the lead. Oh, man. Blaney just missed that corner a ton. I don't think Reddick got through there very well either. Larson is not that far behind. There's some significant damage on the front of the 12. Blaney shoots the S's. He gets by Reddick. Clear. What a move. I thought he was too far back to make a pass that time, but I guess he wasn't. Reddick is charging hard. He's not done yet. All over the back of Blaney. And back to the longest straightaway of the racetrack. Reddick checked up a lot into that final corner. Blaney tried to steer clear of him, and he couldn't do it. It doesn't look like the damage is hurting the 12 car in handling. Oh, Reddick to the outside. Trying to catch the 12 by surprise. Not going to happen. Interesting move to say the least from Reddick. I didn't go full throttle into the S's, but I definitely drove it in a lot deeper than Tyler Reddick. Yeah, you can't stick it full throttle going through there. You gotta lift. Kind of feather the throttle going through. I was probably partial throttle at least going through most of it, but it wasn't hammered down 100%. Kind of tag the brakes a little bit getting in. Yeah, I am hitting the brakes a little bit in every single one of those corners. Just tapping it. Wasn't enough there, though. Look at how much interval-wise Blaney has already pulled away from Reddick, Larson, Kyle Busch, and then Chase Elliott would round out the top 5 behind him right now. I mean, really, it's pretty even through the field, except for the S's. Blaney is noticeably quicker, and that is where the difference is made. It's going to be up to the pit crew, too, though, to have fast stops during the stage breaks. Blaney would like to not restart in the middle of the pack every time if he can help it. I don't know if he's going to repair the damage on the front of the car or not. Just to try and minimize the time on pit road. Only because it's not hurting the car right now. If he gets a little bit more, though, could tick it up over the edge. .20 miles per hour through the hairpin and Iris. Is that what they go in real life? I feel like they're going a little faster. I feel like in real life they're probably going like 30 to 40. I don't think it's any different than at Sonoma in the hairpin when they're going like 35, 40 miles an hour. Well, yeah, I mean, F1 you go full throttle through the S's, but that's because, like I mentioned earlier, those cars have more downforce and they're a lot lighter than the stock cars. 5 laps to go at stage 1 that time by at the line. In total, this is a 68-lap race. We're on lap 11 with 5 to go in stage 1. Blaney's fastest lap of the day is a 2:14.535. That is almost 2 seconds faster than what he ran in qualifying, which again was only good enough for 20 seconds. So he has picked the pace up quite a bit. Comes so close to a stage win. At Dover in stage 2, he was leading with just a couple laps to go before he blew a tire with 3 to go in the stage. So he's just going to have to make sure that he still hits his marks. He's pulling away from Reddick. He's got about a 4-second lead, roughly. He's got to keep it. Even if he gives up just a little bit of time every lap, as long as it's not going to get Reddick to within striking distance to make a pass on Blaney through any one of these corners. That's the big thing. Ryan Blaney has won 4 races this season. It was all in the first 7 races of the year. He has not won since. So it's been a while. About a 7 or 8 race winless streak. Looking to rack up more playoff points. That's when he was sitting in the points lead at one point. After 9 races into the season, Ryan Blaney led in points. He's going to go really wide this time. He definitely can't wait to get 4 fresh tires back on the car because he used them up quite a bit in those first 10 laps. Pretty much the first 8 laps before he got to the lead. Reddick gained 2 seconds on him in that one corner alone. Cut his deficit in half. About 4.5 to 2 to 2.5. more corners, and we'll have 4 to go. Speaking of 5 laps coming to 4 to go, for anybody that watched the Xfinity race, and I wasn't able to watch the Trucker, so I don't know how it exactly played out, but in the Xfinity Series race, they had about a 6-lap green flag run to the end of the race, so not too long, especially by road course standards, and considering it's a longer road course, it was decent green flag run, but it wasn't, a long one by any means. They took a commercial with 5 laps to go in the race. Now, I know it was side by side, so they still had it on the side of the screen, but why is Fox taking a commercial break of any kind with 5 laps to go in a race? They didn't come back from break until they had like 3.5 laps to go. I couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me right now? And it's not like it was on a main Fox network either where there would be more advertisements to air. It was on Fox Sports 1 in an Xfinity race. Like, what are... I wouldn't cut it any slack no matter what, kind of race it is. 5 laps to go and you're cutting a commercial? That's insane. I don't care if it's 5 laps around the moon. I don't want them cutting a commercial with 5 laps to go. Because they had a couple spins too when they were during the commercial break. I think somebody in the top 10 spun during the commercial break. No, it was the 27. 27 car. Jeb Burton was in 3rd. He didn't spin, but I guess he missed turn 4. Which would have been one of the corners in the S's. And then Jeremy Clements did also. But I think when Clements did it, it was when they were actually on the broadcast. But they came back from the commercial break with 3.5 laps to go. They're like, oh yeah, and Jeb Burton has a penalty for missing the... He undercut one of the corners. I think it was turn 4. It's like, oh, that would have been nice information to know if you guys weren't on a commercial break that the guy in 3rd has a penalty. Because Fox doesn't care about NASCAR. Still, though, that's no different than... Well, I know they take commercial breaks in other sports late in the game, but the clock is stopped when they do it. It's not like 5 minutes to go in the Super Bowl and here's a word from Papa John's while the play's going on and they miss a touchdown. Like, that doesn't happen. Why is NASCAR the only sport where you actually miss live action? Because of advertisements. It doesn't make any sense. And it's not like their, races are that much longer than like a baseball game. A regular season baseball game, maybe a half hour shorter at the most, and that's with the long 500-mile races that go 3.5 to 4 hours. And usually that's if there's a lot of yellows, kind of like a large part of the season. We've had a lot of cautions, but look at Phoenix. Phoenix didn't have that many cautions. Race was done in 2.5 hours. So, I mean, if there's not a lot of yellows, the race will get done in 2.5 to 3 hours, which is average. That's the average length of a football game, baseball game. Basketball and hockey games are usually close to that 2.5 hour window, but still. They don't air advertisements during the actual product. It mind boggles me. It always has, but now that we're in a day and age where I feel like people are more tired of advertisements, a lot of it just has to do with the internet accessibility and the fact that you can literally have paid subscription plans on a lot of apps or streaming websites where you can take ads off, but there's no way to do that with NASCAR races. At least right now. And unfortunately, at least until the next TV deal, which is 2025. So we're going to have to be dealing with this for a couple more years yet, which I don't like. And we shouldn't have to, but... yeah, that's my frustration with that. Why do I not record stuff? What do you mean? Like record live sports? Or are you talking about something for the channel? I'll leave those types of videos to other NASCAR YouTubers. There's a lot of other NASCAR YouTubers that talk about that stuff, so I don't want to talk about the same thing. I feel like I'll be wasting everybody's time. Like, you guys would want to hear my viewpoints on that stuff, but I'm not going to get any, new viewers at the same time, too. If I didn't work a full-time job, I probably would, but I have a full-time job plus this YouTube channel, so I just don't have time to do all that. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. Could you imagine if they did that in the Daytona 500? 5 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Big one happens with like 4 laps left. They missed it because of the commercial. I know it's, you know, COTA, but I mean, what if there was... I mean, there could have been an accident that set up an overtime restart with 4 laps to go. Like, that could have happened. And they would have missed it because they had a side-by-side commercial break going on. It just mind boggles me. 5 laps. That's all you have to wait. Couple laps a minute, it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes. And they just had a long commercial where they or a long caution where they aired a couple commercials during the caution break, so it's not like they didn't have any room for advertisements the couple minutes prior to that. I've never recorded live sports. If I miss it live, I'll go back and watch the highlights. I don't want to watch the whole thing over again. I don't have that much time on my hands. That is just something about, like, with all the notifications I have, I'll find out, you know, who wins and everything else. A notification will pop up. Chase Briscoe wins at Road America or something. I'll be like, oh shoot, I was gonna watch it. I don't do that. I can't do that. Even with other sports, though. There's just too many games. Coming to the final lap of Stage 1, this time by at the start-finish line. Looks like Tyler Reddick is still in second place. He's about 5 to 6 seconds behind race leader Ryan Blaney, who took the lead about halfway through Stage 1, right at that 8 lap to go mark. Blaney's definitely going to be pitting during the stage break. It'll be interesting to see if anybody else is going to pit. They usually don't. Now, the good thing with this being a road course, they can pit under green, even if it's a few laps into the green flag run. They won't go a lap down. They may have to pit in Stage 2 anyway, considering it's going to be a couple laps longer than Stage 1. I believe it's going to be 17 laps. And if it is 17 or 18 laps, it's going to be right in the window. Again, the pit window is 16 to 18 laps based off the career mode race at COTA, as well as our custom schedule season race at COTA. The new Stage 1 wasn't going to be an issue, but final 2 stages will. Daytona International Speedway, welcome to the stream. Name a track that has very intense racing. I mean, any super speedway, really any short track. I mean, any track can have it from time to time, but on a consistent basis, I'd say super speedway and short track racing. Because road courses, they can get strung out over a long period of time. The drivers are still in an intense box because it's so hard to keep consistency on non-ovals, because every corner is so different from one another, and most of them it takes a couple minutes to get around, so it can really knock you out of rhythm. But as far as, you know, just intense, a lot of traffic, having to manipulate it one way or the other to get through it, yeah, I'd say super speedway and short track racing. Off the final corner, Ryan Blaney will win Stage 1 at Circuit of the Americas. Good start. I don't understand why in this game, too, you cross the start-finish line, but it doesn't actually finish you until you cross the bridge. I don't know why that's the start-finish line in this game, but oh well. So there's a look at your Stage 1 results. Blaney with the Stage 1 win, Tyler Reddick second, Kyle Larson third, Kyle Busch fourth, Chase Elliott will round out the top 5 in Stage 1. Finishing 6th is William Byron, regular season points leader Joey Logano finishes 7th, Alex Bowman will end up finishing 8th, Daniel Suarez 9th, and Cole Custer will round out the top 10 in Stage 1. Just took a screenshot of it, so we'll advance into Stage 2 quickly now. And we'll be seeing pit stops from at least Ryan Blaney in the 12. Not going to repair the damage on the front of his race car. It definitely did not cost him any sort of time. The 4 fresh tires were the big point of emphasis here. No adjustments to the 12 car. Just going to throw 4 fresh tires, top off on fuel. They're going to get this car back on the racetrack. I would imagine because nobody else is going to pit during the stage break that Blaney's going to be at the rear of the field. Bristol has good intense racing live traffic. Yeah, Bristol, I think just like the demanding racetracks, Bristol, Darlington, Dover are probably the 3 that come to mind as far as just, I feel like those are the tracks that just wear drivers out. Green flag is back in the air. Blaney at the rear of the field right now. Big stack up into turn 1. He's going to get a lot of these positions back right here, right now. A little bit of contact with Bubba Wallace, but he didn't want to get pinched on the inside. And he's already up to 14th. That did not take long. Contact, and Harvick nearly goes around. Off the exit of turn 2. I couldn't tell who got into him. I believe it was Kurt Busch in the 1. Into the S's, Kurt Busch is still sitting wide as Alex Bowman is looking to make a pass on him. And almost 3 wide between McDowell, Blaney, and Harvick. Remember, Blaney has fresh tires right now as well, compared to the rest of the field. Up the middle, Bowman went really wide and nearly goes off the racing surface. Blaney shot right in between them. That one just shot right into the back bumper of the 1 of Kurt Busch. Tags him again. Closing rates for Blaney in the braking zone with 15-lap fresher tires is insane. This is a 17-lap second stage. So it's going to be right on the edge of fuel. And pit road closes with 2 laps to go in the stage, so Blaney will have until then to make his mind up. I would not be surprised if he just pits with the rest of the field here. Just so he doesn't lose extra time. When he has a big run, dives under the 99 of Daniel Suarez, makes a pass in that second to last corner. Cole Custer will pull into the pits first lap after the restart of stage 2. So he was riding in the 8th place position. There's another car on pit road also. I believe it was potentially Michael McDowell. I wasn't entirely sure. But a couple drivers inside the top 10 just pit. We'll be seeing more over the next few laps. Yeah, for whatever reason, they do not pit during the stage breaks in this game. Advantage for the 12. Although potentially a disadvantage. Oh my gosh. It's just amazing how slow they are through the Hessis. Ryan Blaney on the fresher tires. It makes it seem even worse. The beginning of stage 2. Contact with the 24 of Byron. Blaney pulls out of line, makes a pass on Chase Elliott. He just took Kyle Busch's line away. Drove him up the track, and Busch is not only going to lose a spot to Blaney, but he's also going to lose 4th place to Chase Elliott. And I believe Kyle Larson is the race leader. Yep, Larson is the leader. He was able to get around Reddick on the restart. Welcome to the stream, Billy. Lady going wide. Larson and Reddick into the pits. Blaney's going to pit with him. Not sure what the pit road speed limit was, but Blaney is on pit road. I believe he's going to have damage that's going to be repaired. Got into the back of Byron and a couple other cars on the restart, adding on to the damage he already had. Poor Stenhouse. So Blaney's just going to pit with the rest of the leaders here. 4 tires and fuel. Try to get back on the same strategy as everybody else. He won't have to pit before the end of the stage no matter what now. He was going to be borderline on fuel. So better safe than sorry knowing the speed in the 12 car. Looks like a pretty clean stop there. And actually no damage will be repaired. So we'll just pull right out onto the racetrack. Kyle Larson did not have a fast stop himself. Blaney will get out in front of Tyler Reddick, but not Kyle Larson. Pulling out of the pits, down onto the bottom of the racetrack. Blaney trying to get up to speed. Denny Hamlin in the middle of it. Blaney is nearly stopped. Nowhere to go as they were 3 wide, merging back into traffic with the cars that already made their stop. And the cars coming out of the pit lane on the bottom. There's no room for Blaney to merge on. Off the turtle, clears Hamlin right back. So Larson and Reddick, and especially Reddick, lost a lot of positions. Blaney almost down to the grass. Checks up, Larson still in front of him. Oh, look at Larson. What a move underneath Briscoe. I don't think they made contact either. Oh, Larson stops right in the middle of the racetrack. I think he missed a shift. And Blaney had the wherewithal to miss him. He had to drive into the grass to miss him, but better than wrecking his race car. That would have been a terrible crash involving 2 of the faster cars in the field, Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney. Larson missed a shift on the inside after dive bombing into the corner on Chase Briscoe. Lost a spot to Blaney in the process. Hamlin as well got around him, dropping Larson back to 8th. I think currently Cole Custer is in 2nd. I'm not sure who's leading this race. It may be Kyle Busch. Leader's gone, whoever it is. Maybe it's Byron. Just trying to think of guys that were up towards the front of the field. Blaney had a bit of a wheel hop. Going really wide that time. Dive bombs into the final corner to get around Chase Briscoe. Clean pass as well. Back inside the top 5. Anthony Alfredo's in 2nd. I don't know how he got up there. I wonder if he hasn't pit yet. Blaney hard into turn 1, and he gets by Elliott for 4th. Chase not going to be able to get the power down to get the crossover. Welcome to the stream, Dark Crypto. 18 people watching the stream, only 13 likes. Smash the like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live commentary, full race live streams on the channel on a daily basis, whether it's the real races on the weekend or the video game races during the week. We'll be live streaming tomorrow's Cup Series race at COTA. Pre-race will start at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The contact between Alfredo and Blaney there. And our live race commentary coverage will begin at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Echo Park Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. Blaney battling Anthony Alfredo for 2nd place. Christopher Bell is the leader. Blaney dive bombs into the next corner and back onto the long straightaway as he clears Alfredo with ease. So Chase Elliott just made a pass on Joey Logano for 4th place as well, dropping the points leader back to 5th. Bell is gone right now. No clue where he's at. Plenty of time for Blaney to try and run him down. Blaney did win Stage 1 if you are just tuning in for the first time. He started 22nd, cut through the field pretty quickly. Everybody just made a green flag stop within the first 3 laps of stage number 2. And Bell isn't even within sight anywhere. I don't see him anywhere on the main straightaway when Blaney came off that final corner. A lot of catching up to do for the 12 if he's going to want to get another playoff point today. At least without having to win the race. And he knows he's got to power through the S's really well. Pretty good that time around. We haven't alternated through the different camera angles yet today, so we'll make sure we do that when we get back to the start-finish line this next time around. It's almost as if Bell didn't pit. And I wonder... I almost wonder if he pit during the stage break. If he did, let's say, pit during the stage break, the window is 16 to 18 laps, so he may make it on fuel, but he also might still have to pit. Bell did not finish top 10 in stage 1, by the way. And I almost wonder if the same goes for Anthony Alfredo, and that's why he had cycled into second from seemingly out of nowhere as well. It's one way to gain track position. He's probably still not going to catch lap traffic considering that this is a road course. Blaney just missed that final corner. Every time he goes really wide like that, it's going to cost him a lot of time. Go onto the front bumper cam. Still 12 laps to go in stage 2. So many blind corners at COTA with all the elevation changes. Really, the only track I could think of that is similar to COTA would be Road America, as far as how the layout is. A lot more hairpin corners. There's a lot at Road America as well, but most of the ones at Road America are straight 90 degrees. Here there are some 90-degree corners, but there's also some corners that are a lot sharper of an angle than even 90 degrees. Skirt the tires that time. You could hear the 12 locking up the fronts. See the damage on the front bumper of Ryan Blaney's Dex Imaging Ford. Definitely made a lot of contact on his way through the field, especially at the beginning of stage 2, restarting towards the back as he was what presumably was the only car on pit road during the caution. They're assuming Christopher Bell might have pit during the yellow as well. I guess that isn't the case. We will have our trivia question later on in the stream. That will be in the final stage for those of you wondering when that is going to come out. Trivia question of the night. Cup Series, our prelude to the Cup Series race tomorrow. Not just because of doing the live commentary on the channel, but even just simply because they are actually racing at COTA. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the truck in the Xfinity race today. Again, I was not able to watch the truck race. It looked like it was wild, especially at the finish. The Xfinity race, I didn't get to watch the highlights of it, so I kind of missed a lot of the pretty much first 2/3 of the race. I caught the final couple laps of stage 2 and the entire final stage is all I got to see of the Xfinity race today. Big Alex Bowman, welcome into the chat. And our goal is 30 likes. We are at 15. Oh boy. Let's try to see if we can navigate our way around Circuit of the Americas through the alternating camera angles still, even with the damage on the front of the race car. Oh man, you can't even see the S's coming up here. Really hope I don't miss the corner. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know where I'm at. This is a bad idea. This is a terrible idea. I can't do this anymore. I didn't know where I was going. I really hope I didn't get an invalidated lap for that. That was impossible. That hurt my brain. You can't say we didn't try. I was trying to make it 2 laps. I couldn't even get into the S's. I got through the first turn pretty good. Turn 2 wasn't bad. I couldn't even see where the S's were coming up. I was looking at the window net. So I can see like turn 3 on the left-hander, but I couldn't see the right-hander at all. We'll chalk that one up as an L. We lost a lot of time to Bell with that. Probably wasn't wise. Still far and away ahead of third. Back to the Gator Series recording. Worst case scenario, if I did want to watch the full race again, I know NASCAR uploads the full race on their YouTube channel, usually on Tuesdays or Wednesdays after the race. Comment down in the chat below, do you think Blaney's got any sort of a chance to catch Christopher Bell by the end of this second stage. Even interval-wise, we have no clue exactly how far ahead he is, because at times it's showing 25 seconds, and then at other times it's showing 6 seconds. About 8.5 laps to go in stage 2. It's going to be tough. We know Blaney wants that extra playoff point. Blaney has not won both stages and the race at all in any of the 4 races he has won in, this season. This is now race 14. Nope, too far. The only hope, really, is that Bell has to pit before the end of the stage, which, again, if he pitted during the stage break, it's not impossible. He could pit. Pit road does close with 2 laps to go in the stage. And we've seen the game actually stay true to penalizing drivers for pitting with 2 laps or less to go in the stage, so Bell will have until he comes to 2 to go to make up his mind. He is the leader, so he will have it until that final corner coming to 2 to go. Whether or not he is going to swing and make that big left-handed turn onto pit road, or if he's just going to stay on the racetrack. Come to a full stop and refire, and I will donate 20. No, I can't do that. I can't. Not for the integrity of the race. Just in case there's a shot that we could still catch Bell. Blaney really wide off of turn 6. The finishing corner to the S has really hurt him. It didn't hurt him too bad. He didn't have to lift overly extra. And again, even though Blaney pitted during the stage break, he pit just a few laps into stage number 2 as well with most of the rest of the field. So we know he's good on field to the end of the stage, as is everybody else behind him. Except for potentially Anthony Alfredo, and that's only because I believe Alfredo also pitted during the stage break and stayed out when everybody else pitted, much like Christopher Bell. No cautions for incident today outside of just the stage break, bringing out our only yellow thus far. It's fun bribing Keegan with money. Like trying to get a kid to do his chores. We'll go back to the far chase cam. Once this lap comes to an end, Blaney just blows turn 1. It wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than what it was. This was pretty much about that point 10, 11 laps into the first stage where those tires really started to wear out. And the same thing is happening here in stage 2. He's pushing extremely hard trying to catch Bell lap after lap after lap. He's definitely going to have to work on tire management in that final stage. That's a lot longer, and they will have to go a full field run under green flag conditions for the first time. Assuming that we don't get a caution for incident that will break up the race in any way. Full send him for 20. Yeah, I'm not doing that either. It's going to be interesting if anybody pits during the stage break then, if Bell pit the last time. Not as wide as turn 1. At least he kept all 4 on the actual pavement of the racetrack, but he's just not gripping the bottom whatsoever right now. He's going to have to start backing these corners up a little bit better than what he has. A lot better job that go around. Now you would imagine though, well, it would only be about 2 to 3 lap fresher tires for Blaney than Bell if Bell pitted during the stage break, so I guess it wouldn't be that much more. Blaney might have stayed out risking it on fuel. I think he could go 17 laps. He could definitely go 16. Could he have went that extra lap? It's possible. And 16 to 18 is the window. We'll go back to the far chase cam, at least for the rest of stage 2. We'll alternate through the different camera angles again in the final stage of tonight's race. Christopher Bell in a league of his own right now. Bell's got 2 wins this season. Came in back-to-back races. Winning at Darlington and Talladega. So he is already locked into the playoffs. One of only 4 drivers to have multiple wins this year. Along with Kevin Harvick, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney. All drivers with 2 or more wins. Blaney the only one with more than 2 wins as he sits with 4. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. I gotta say for Express, this is unlike you tonight. You questioned my commentary from the start, and you're willingly throwing money around, which I appreciate it, but it's almost like he's a... I don't know. I was about to say like a lecturer or a teacher slash mob leader. Bit of a wheel hop. You hear those tires locking up at the last second. That skirting noise. I will say the microphone in the S's this weekend that Fox has, you can really hear the squealing of the tires in the Xfinity Series race. I would assume it's probably the same for the trucks. By the way, that last lap was a 2-minute 14.264 second lap. It's only about 0.2 of a second off his fastest lap of the race. This lap's not going to be anywhere close. That was a bad corner once again for Blaney. That wasn't that much better either. Just a major, major struggle going on right now for the 12 car in the handling department with these old tires. There is some corners he is just letting the car go wide. Kind of like these last 2 corners this go around. Just trying not to check up as much as he could possibly help it. Still no sight of Christopher Bell. That's the 3rd lap in a row he's gone wider in turn 1 than what he would have liked, though. We have 4 laps to go in stage 2. Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. Pit road again closes with 2 laps to go in the stage. That is how long Bell will have to make his mind up. Less than 2 laps to decide on whether he is going to pit. If he deems that he just can't make it on fuel, or that 20 team in general just feels like they're not going to be able to make it. And he did not overrun this corner in the braking zone. Really good corner, actually. And I think I just saw Christopher Bell on this long straightaway. He was about midway down the straightaway as Blaney got off that last corner. But Blaney is running him down. And I almost wonder if Christopher Bell is also potentially saving fuel to make it to the end of the stage. He might not have to save at all, but better safe than sorry. I think Blaney's running him down. Finally within sight. This is the first we've even seen of Christopher Bell at all since the restart. And it's taken almost the entirety of stage 2 to get there, but Blaney is closing in. He's going to have 3 more laps to go get him, though. There's Bell. Now you just wonder who has managed their tires better, Blaney or Bell. Blaney's had a better race car for most of the day. Again, Bell didn't even finish in the top 10 in stage 1, getting the track position pitting during the stage break. Blaney for the 4th straight lap going to go wider in turn 1. That was probably better of the 4 times through there, though. And Bell will have to decide if he is going to pit or not by the time they make it back to the start-finish line this time. If he stays out, he's going to have to commit and stay out to the end of the stage. Blaney did not get through the S's perfectly like he has most of the day. And this is going to turn into a race here to the end of stage number 2 all of a sudden. Not sure how many seconds back Blaney was on Bell exactly. But it was definitely a long ways back, and you could see that Ream 20 car. It might be the Craftsman 20. It's a red and black car, that's for sure. But it's definitely Christopher Bell. Damage on the nose and all, and Blaney is running him down. By the way, that last lap for Blaney was his fastest of the race. A 2-minute, 13.890 second lap time. No wonder he's catching him. But he might blow this corner. Really wide for Ryan Blaney with less than 2.5 laps to go. Did not need that. A lap after running his fastest of the race. That's even on old tires. There's some laps he's able to push it hard, and if it sticks, even on the older tires, he's put together some really, really good blistering fast lap times, but other times not the case. And Bell will pit. He had to make the decision up by the time he got to the line. He feels he can't make it on fuel. He won't risk it. Blaney was closing in anyway as well, so Christopher Bell will pit. Blaney will lead at the start-finish line. 2 laps to go in the stage. Now pit road is closed for anybody else behind. Christopher Bell pit pressure is off now for Ryan Blaney, and he could ease his way around these final 2 laps at COTA and win and sweep the first 2 stages of the race today. That was going to be interesting coming to 2 to go if Blaney was going to catch Bell or not. He was definitely closing in quite a bit. Bell didn't think he could make it on fuel though, and better safe than sorry. You don't want to run out of gas this early in the race, knowing that we're not even in the final stage yet. And I wonder where he's going to cycle when he comes out of the pit lane, if he's even going to be able to cycle back inside the top 10. It'll be interesting to see the leaderboard in a couple of laps at the end of stage 2. Kyle Larson's charged his way back up to 5th. Remember, he fell to 8th after missing a shift that first lap after coming out of the pits during his green flag stop early in stage number 2. So he's gotten a couple of those spots back, although some of it might be off of Alfredo and Bell. In that case, I guess he would have only gotten 1 of those spots back, but still better than none. He finished better than Joey Logano in stage 1. Larson was 3rd at the end of the first stage. Logano was 6th. Larson not too far behind Logano in the regular season point standings. Still 12 races left in the regular season after this race tonight yet. So plenty of time for those drivers to try and battle it out. 15 playoff points are awarded to the regular season champion at the end of that regular season finale under the lights at Daytona. Final lap of stage 2 now. Those last 2 laps are still in the 2-minute 14-second bracket area for Ryan Blaney. It looks like Bell is still in 2nd place. I wonder if he went fuel only just to try and make it to the end. He only lost 1 position out of pitting. Just over half a lap to go. Still going to have about half the race remaining, though, once the final stage starts, and they will have to make a scheduled green flag pit stop in that final stage, maybe even 2 of them. We know Blaney's definitely going to pit during the stage break once again. He's not going to pit immediately with the rest of the field this time around. And with Bell pitting right there towards the end of this stage, definitely know he's going to be staying out. And he's actually got good track position too, where Blaney is not going to have good track position. He's going to be at the back trying to run Bell down. He will have at least a few lap fresher tires, even if Bell did pit for tires. About 2 lap fresher, so those first 2 to 4 laps, it's going to be go time for Ryan Blaney from the back of the pack when we start the final stage. Nearly spun out. He had a big power slide a couple corners ago. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. About as close as Blaney's been to spinning out on his own all day today. He's worked the throttle pretty well for the most part, making sure he's not hammering back into the gas, but that time he almost got carried away. Off the final corner, using the excess pavement and the curbing. Green-white checkered flag in the air. Once again, Ryan Blaney has won stage 2 as he will sweep the stages at COTA. That'll be 2 playoff points throughout the course of today's race. And for Blaney, that is stage win number 7 on the season. So number 6 and 7 for Ryan Blaney on the year. That gives him 27 playoff points total now. And there's a look at your stage results in stage number 2. Ryan Blaney finishes P1 as mentioned. Christopher Bell will hang on to second. Chase Elliott third. He is the defending winner of this race. Kyle Larson fourth. Daniel Suarez rounds out the top 5. He's having a good day. He was top 10 in both stages. Michael McDowell 6th. William Byron 7th. Austin Dillon 8th. Bubba Wallace up to 9th. And Matt DiBenedetto will round out the top 10. And those guys will receive stage points in stage number 2. Everybody is still on the lead lap that is in this race. I saw Matt Mills at the tail end of the field in 38th. So Eric Jones and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. through the first 2 stages are done for the day. Tough break for Stenhouse. He's actually borderline top 10 in points, having a good season. That is not going to help him here today. So 4 tires and fuel coming here for the 12 of Ryan Blaney. No repairs going to be made during this green flag, or pit stop during the caution flag. We have not had a caution for incident yet in this race today. Gonna pause it for one quick second before we go green. Make sure I get the trivia question for tonight. And then a couple laps after the restart, I will ask you guys tonight's trivia question. Alright, that's what I thought. Just wanted to double down on it. And headed to the restart. Green flag back in the air. Blaney from deep in the field. Gonna try to get through here cleanly this time. A lot of cars pulling out of line as well. Blaney's gonna try to find his way in line without any contact being made, and he actually made it through without any contact. Found a hole, darted for it, and he got it. Into the S's now, creeping to not try and run into the back of anybody like he did at the beginning of stage 2. Underneath the 77 of Justin Haley, Kyle Busch is going to go wide. It's going to cost Busch a spot. Bell's already taking off. Blaney's trying to get through this pack as quickly as he can to get to Christopher Bell. You can see a lot of cars slipping and sliding on their older tires after staying out during the stage break. Larson's going to go wide. Reddick checked up because of it. Logano slams into the side of the 5. Larson's wide again, and Reddick is going to get into him, and Blaney's got a massive run on the 8 and the 5. He goes to the outside and outbreaks them both. Blaney up to P6. And now trying to draft off his teammate Logano. Bubba Wallace up to 3rd. Matty D up to 4th. That's Seth. Welcome to the stream. Heavy into this next braking zone. Blaney dive bombs underneath Joey Logano, and he'll make the pass potentially on his teammate, but Logano fights back, winning the race back to the throttle. And Logano has taken that spot away. Oh, DiBenedetto slides the tires now. Blaney to the outside of Logano. It did not stick very well in that corner. Actually, it did. Never mind. I didn't think it was going to. 22 to 12 battled hard in stage 1 for position as well. And they're battling hard at the beginning of the final stage for a top 5 spot in the running order. Battling's definitely allowing Bell to get ahead a little further on up the field. Blaney darts it to the inside, almost making contact with the 21. He did clear Logano with a clean pass, though. And he did a great job not running into the side of DiBenedetto. So 36 laps in the final stage today. The pit window is 16 to 18 laps, so it looks like we're going to have a little fuel mileage race. And the crew chief is already inaccurate, telling us to pit the first lap after the stage. So it is going to be a wild fuel mileage race here today at COTA, assuming that we stay green to the end, because we have not had a caution for incident all day long. Blaney into the S's. On the inside into turn 6 after going outside in turn 5. He gets by DiBenedetto for 3rd. Bubba Wallace. Sorry, DiBenedetto is in 4th. Bubba Wallace is in 3rd. Byron's 2nd. Bell is the leader. So you got the 4Bs running 1st through 4th right now. You got Bell, Byron, Blaney, Bubba. Logano has just gotten by DiBenedetto for 5th, but a crossover allows DiBenedetto to hang on the outside, and they're side by side, side drafting each other down the long straightaway in the middle of the course. Blaney quickly pulling away from Wallace. Mark DeMars, welcome to the stream. Quickly, Blaney is closing. Again, he's got a lot fresher tires. If Bell has 4 fresh tires on his car, they're about 2 laps older than Blaney's. I give it to about 4 laps into the run. Those tires are going to even out between the 12 and the 20. So Blaney definitely needs to make very quick work of Byron on these older tires for the 24. Looking to set him up into the next corner, side by side, door to door. There's contact. Oh, and Byron nearly turns him back down the racetrack, almost trying to give him a little payback as he was pulling into the pit lane, and that nearly hooked the 12 car right around. Car got on the edge of their seat for that, I guess. Blaney's up to 2nd, nevertheless, and trying to run down Bell. Tires will even out in about another 2 laps. King Brutus, welcome to the stream. 34 laps to go at COTA. We're officially halfway. Again, a fuel mileage race for Ryan Blaney. He would have to go 18 laps on each of these final 2 runs if he's going to make it to the end. Big hop off the curbing, and he barely kept it on the actual racing surface. That was almost his first penalty of the day. I thought he had that missed. Did a great job backing the car up, trying to minimize the already miscued corner. Everybody that is pitting right now definitely on a 2-stop strategy in this stage. Blaney may have to pit twice anyway as well, so it seems like a pretty equal strategy for the entire field. Blaney may have to make it on 1 if he stays out on older tires for a long time. They commit to just the 1 stopper and just hope that he can make it. That is a risky, risky game, though. It didn't look like Christopher Bell was going to be the one to beat in Stage 1, but the fact he finished 2nd in Stage 2 and led a lot of laps in the 2nd stage, and he's leading early in Stage 3, he may be the one to beat. Well, thanks for stopping by, King Bruce. Make sure to hit the like button on your way out. As for anybody else who has not hit the like button yet tonight, also do so. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Live commentary of tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race at COTA will be on the channel once again. It'll be the 4th time this season we will be doing a live commentary. 3rd during the regular season. We also did the Busch Clash at the very beginning of the year. We have had a couple hundred viewers during the course of each of those streams, so glad to watch those races with you. I was off last weekend because I was at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Cup Series race, and I was also at Auto Club in Daytona. So the only reason I have not done every race this year is because I've been at 3 races already this season. But I'll be at home for the COTA race tomorrow, so I'll be bringing you guys the commentary as usual. Yeah, good chance I'll be going to COTA next year. Very good chance. But not this year. trivia question of the night. Answer down in the chat below. Try not to cheat if you, well, don't cheat if you want to play fair. Let's just see if you guys, or any of you guys, how many of you guys can get the trivia question correct tonight. So our trivia question for Circuit of the Americas is: Chase Elliott won the race last year, rain shortened at COTA, but in the NASCAR Cup Series, who led the most laps in that race? So who led the most laps at COTA in the NASCAR Cup Series race last season? Answers down in the chat below. See if any of you guys remember. No hints for tonight's question. And I'll give you guys to lap 40 to try and figure it out. Give you guys 4 laps. End of lap 40, we'll give you guys the answer if you can't get it answered in the chat prior to that. Denny Hamlin is not the answer. Good attempt, though. Leading up to lap 40, we might have a pretty good battle for the lead between Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney as well. Blaney's been closing in on him these last few laps. He ran a 2:13.74, won that last lap. Not his best lap by any means. Chase Elliott did not lead the most laps either. Actually, Chase Elliott only led 4 laps in that race last year. He took the lead for about 4 laps before they ended up calling it for rain. So he did not lead many in that one. He was the winner, though. That's what matters in the end. I look at the S's at the pace that Blaney is running right now, that he should be able to get to Bell by then. Assuming he gets through these next couple corners all right. And right when I said that, he's going to go wide. So, never mind. That might have broken any opportunity of getting around Bell on the next lap. Although he gets through that finishing corner pretty well. Bell checked up quite a bit. He'll win the race back to the gas. Kyle Busch is not the answer to the question as well. That was also close. Kyle Busch won stage number 1 in that race. And he led 12 laps, which was the second most amount of laps led. So Busch led the second most laps at COTA last year, but he did not lead the most. The question, again, is tonight, for those of you just tuning in and might have missed the question a couple of laps ago. Who is the driver who led the most laps last year in the Cup Series race at COTA? Seen Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott down in the chat. None of those are it. Blaney couldn't get around Bell in the S's that time, but he is all over his back bumper looking for the lead. Big run for Blaney. And now's the time to make the move. Side by side for the lead. Bell's going to go wide, trying to undercut the corner. He runs into the side of the 12. That's going to keep Bell with the race lead. Pretty dirty move by Christopher Bell to try and hold on. Blaney's going to try to stay in the draft now. Bell's going to be the one to outbreak Blaney. Great corner by the 12. 20 did a great job as well. Blaney had the positioning on Bell, but Bell just drove right into the side of him. Alex Bowman and Austin Cindric are also not correct. Blaney on the bottom again. Bell hangs on the top. Blaney going to go wide, trying to beat Bell back to the gas. A little squirrely as he crosses the curbing. And Christopher Bell gets the acceleration back to the start-finish line. Exactly 30 laps to go at COTA. Dive bomb into turn 1. Blaney's got it, but he goes wide, and Bell crosses him over. Guess it was worth throwing it in there. Blaney had it for a brief moment, and that was about it. Into the Estes now. He'll pull alongside Bell on the outside in 5. He'll have the inside in turn 6. Almost making contact. That was very close. Still side by side into 7 and 8. Blaney leads at COTA. And after winning the first 2 stages, can he win the final one, the most important one of the night? Yes, Joey Logano is the answer to the question. I saw Billy Kramer down in the chat answer it first. For Express also questioned Joey Logano. Joey Logano led 14 laps last year en route to a 3rd place finish. He was also a stage winner in last year's Cup race at COTA. But he is the answer to tonight's trivia question. He led the most laps by 2 laps over Kyle Busch. Blaney just blew that corner. Bell's trying to come back for him. Oh man, he's right there. Blaney missed it. Got a little sideways in the grass. Thought there was going to be a window of opportunity with a couple mishaps that last lap for Blaney after taking the lead from Bell, but Bell was not able to get back around him, and off the finishing corner back to the main straightaway, Blaney now will pull Christopher Bell. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. No problem, welcome back. Phone ran out of minutes past 2 or 3 weeks. Dang. Oh, Blaney nearly misses the S's. Now he's just making fundamental errors now, because that is his best area on the racetrack all day long, and he actually lost time to Bell. He's got to get back in a rhythm and start to run his own race again and not worry about Bell. He ran really good in the first 2 stages. Still hasn't had a penalty for shortcutting the course at all, so that's good. I like to keep it that way. If you weren't a mod, I would have deleted your message. Honestly, I think Joey Logano is one of the more underrated road course racers in NASCAR. He's only won at Watkins Glen, but he runs good. He's consistent top 10, top 5 on road courses. And last year, it kind of proved it. He led the most laps at COTA in the rain and finished 3rd. Won a stage. He had a great day. Almost won the Daytona road course. Got passed with a lap and a half to go. It was another somewhat newer course for the Cup Series. Only their 2nd race on it. Points race at least. Logano shined that day, finishing 2nd as well. He just doesn't really pop into your head as being one of the top tier road course racers in the Cup Series. You think of Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Martin Truex Jr. Even Kyle Larson last year winning 3 races and almost winning COTA. Again, if you are just tuning in and wondering, well, Blaney's pulling away, it's game over now if we don't get another caution. Which, again, the only 2 cautions we've seen so far anyway were the stage breaks today. So the way this is going, I'd like to think we're probably going to end up staying green to the end. Cautions don't really come out too often on the road courses in this game. I guess it could happen still, but we haven't seen any spins at all today. Not even in the pack. We've seen some contact, but that's been about it. But again, fuel mileage race, 16 to 18 laps. We've prefaced this so many times already in the race today, but there was a reason for it. We saw Bell short pit at the end of stage 2. He didn't feel he could make it. It was 17 laps in the second stage. A lot of the cars pitted at the beginning of the stage, so that way they short pitted. They knew they'd make it to the end of the stage. I would assume a lot of those guys have pit early on in the final stage. We know Bell, Blaney, and Alfredo would have been the 3 drivers that pitted towards the either during the stage break or right before pit road closed with 3 laps to go in stage 2. So they could go a little bit further on fuel than everybody else. But I think Ryan Blaney is probably the driver who is absolutely super close on gas. And the crew chief is not accurate as well with telling us when exactly we need to pit. We're at lap 10 in the stage, and ever since we cross the start-finish line or on the main front stretch, once we get under that bridge area, and keeps telling us to pit every lap, even though we obviously can go 16 to 18 laps. So it's all really risk at this point for Blaney. He gets to lap 16. Do you pit? Do you not pit? Do you pit at 17, and do you try to make it 18? Not once, but twice. And risk it all, because if you run out of gas in this game, caution doesn't come out, and it's going to go from winning the first 2 stages of the race, which that won't go away anyway. Blaney's already won the first 2 stages, but a potential 38th place finish, considering that Jones and Stenhouse are out, versus a win. That would be a huge hit in the point standings, especially when you consider the fact that he's got a shot to get his first max points day of the season. We haven't even seen that out of many drivers this year, let alone the fact that Blaney's got a shot to do it. He hasn't even won the first 2 stages in a race. Same race this season. And today could be the day. No abusing the powers that be down in the chat. I don't even know what he said. Now would be a good time to alternate through the different camera angles one final time in today's race. Do that for about the next 6 laps, and then we'll lead right into potential green flag pit stops. Well, we will be seeing green flag pit stops, but the potential of whether it be that lap or if Blaney tries to risk it at all. I know you unhit him, but it wasn't really necessary in the first place either. Unless there was something grotesque he said in the chat. I didn't see it. For Express is off his rocker tonight. 18 likes on the stream. Our goal is 30. I think we could still get there. Definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. We've had, what, 18 people watching, I think, at one point in time. That probably makes sense. We have 18 likes. We'll see if we can get that up there. And again, don't forget, live commentary of tomorrow's Cup Series race at COTA on the channel. I also preface that a lot during this stream, but have to. Those are the most important streams on the channel. Live commentary for the actual races. Of course, that's what I want to do down the road. And those streams go a long way and help. I mean, every stream goes a long way in helping me. Every view, every subscriber. All you guys commenting in the chat on a nightly basis. I mean, all that helps a ton. But the live race commentary, though, a lot of new and old viewers of the channel tune in to know what's going on with the race. So it's on my best, or try to put my best commentating skills on display, and that's my time to really try and shine. See the back of the lap cars, the tail end of the field, Blaney's closing in on him. So if Allmendinger wins as a part-timer, the car runs for the... Yeah, for Owners' Championship, the 16 car would be in the playoffs. But not the... Because it is a charter team, so they are running every race. Last year, I don't believe the 16 car ran every race, so they wouldn't have been able to compete for the owner's title when Allmendinger won at Indy. But this year they're competing for the owner's title with the 16 car. So Hemrick, Allmendinger, Gregson, anybody who's making starts in that car this year. I think Gralla might be making a couple as well. Interested to see what they can do, see if they can get that car in the owner's playoff field. Justin Haley's the only colleague driver running for an actual driver's championship, though. We're at lap 13 in stage 3 right now. Almost halfway through the final stage and just a handful of more laps. Definitely going to be a very risky decision, though. One stop or two. Bill, welcome to the stream. Dale Jr. so overrated. A little random. There's the hot take of the night. I guess Eric Jones is back on the racetrack at 39th. I thought he was out of the race. I wonder if at the end of stage 1, both him and Stenhouse came back in. Or however many laps down they are. Well, Stenhouse is still out because he's in 40th and he's nowhere to be found. But At least Derek Jones is in this one.
One left. Clear, clear, clear.
Ryan Blaney going to get around him. I am not on easy mode. Champion difficulty. Very few tracks I run expert on this game. I run on legend or hardest difficulty on every other game, but this game is just, it's too much sometimes. We only have 4 wins in 13 races, if that goes to show anything at all. And by the way, most of the field has made their first pit stop at the beginning of the stage of their 2 that they will make. And Blaney has not pitted yet in stage number 3. So that is part of the reason why he's got a pretty good sized lead. Bell and Alfredo, the only 2 that are actually on Blaney's strategy right now. Or right around it. Oh, you bet on Boris Said getting a top 10 in Vegas. I don't know, though. I don't like that bet, only because he's in an NBM car. And I know it's the next-gen car. If anybody could do it, though, it'd be Boris Said. But because it's a next-gen car, and we saw the speed that they had at Daytona, they were really noticeably off the pace. I mean, what? J.J. Yaley was 2 laps ahead of Kaz Grala. And Grala still beat him. So I don't know. I just don't trust the equipment. But like you said, the equipment doesn't fail him. What were the odds on that? Out of curiosity.
Clear, clear, clear.
We got the damage at the beginning of stage 2. Some of it was from the very beginning of the race, but most of it was at the beginning of stage 2 on the restart. We got it in the back of like 3 different drivers, and it's kind of all compiled on top of each other. But the speed is still in the car. It has not hurt the car whatsoever. 2 more laps will go back to the far chase cam for the rest of the race. Blaney just blew turn 1. Went back up onto the racetrack, making sure he was going to stay to the outside of the 77 of Haley. And did. $250 to 1. Hey, why not? That's crazy. $10 for what? What would that be? $2,500. What is that, like a week's worth of gas out in California right now? Lap times have definitely fallen off for Blaney. Granted, that last lap he did blow a corner, but 217.302. That's about almost 4 seconds off his fastest time in the race. 15 laps on these tires. Stage 1 was 15 laps, and he pitted a couple laps into Stage 2. So 15 laps is as far as he's gone on fuel and tires today. We know the fuel window is 16 to 18, so he could definitely go at least 1 more lap on fuel. He'd have to go to 18 laps to go to have a shot to make it a 1 stop in this stage, unless we get a caution. Did it for gas. Current lap 16. The risk is on from here. Can Blaney go 3 full laps around COTA? And then if he does it once, can he do it again later? Near normal difficulty on this game? Yeah. Champion is about as hard as I could go with trying to compete still. Because Expert, you just can't compete on Expert on this game. The only 2 tracks I will run Expert on this year is Phoenix and Richmond. And those are the only 2 tracks that are at least compatible enough that you can compete still. And it's mainly because of long run speed, and that's it. Like, you don't have any short run speed. And you're just hoping to get long green flag runs that'll equal out, level the playing field a little bit. Kyle Larson is in 26th right now. Second in the regular season standings. He has outpointed Logano in each of the first 2 stages, but Logano is in 3rd the last we saw. That is concerning. I wonder if Larson could drop outside of the top 2 in the regular season standings. He's definitely going to have time to get that back again. Blaney with a huge dive bomb into that finishing corner on the 6 of Ryan Newman. Beats him back to the gas onto the main straightaway as well. And we'll go back to the Ford Chase Camp for the final 20 laps. The Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix. 20 likes on the stream so far tonight with 10 away from our goal. 20 laps left. We've got a shot to get there, so definitely like and subscribe. Gonna get around Timmy Hill in the SS. Eric Alvarola not having a good day in 32nd right now. He's one of the cars right on the bubble on points as far as the playoff standings go. If the game was worth playing, which it's not. No, it's not. It is definitely not. That's why this is the final season already, and the game has only been out for like 4 or 5 months. I mean, obviously we've been spacing these streams out on this final season as well. We didn't even get through a full season to career mode. I couldn't take it anymore. It didn't help the game reset on me. That was the final straw, was the game resetting on me. My career mode reset at random. Man, Blaney just drove right into the side of BJ McLeod. BJ just an innocent bystander. He's in 31st. He'll go 1 lap down now with Blaney getting around him. Blaney was coming in with a full head of steam. Cleared the driver's side door off the car. Caleb Holland, welcome to the stream. Next race on this final season is the Coca-Cola 600. And then we got another road course race 2 races from now at Sonoma. Blaney's going to pit this time. He doesn't want to risk another lap on fuel. Better safe than sorry. So Blaney will pit, guaranteeing that it is going to be a 2-stop race to the finish for Ryan Blaney. It'll be 4 tires and fuel, no adjustments. Booping Stenhouse there. So Blaney goes 17 laps. That's as far as he's gone on fuel and tires today. He could have made it 18, but he didn't want to risk anything, so he's guaranteeing a 2-stop final stage strategy, just like the rest of the field. The difference is his pit stops are in a lot different increments than the rest of the field, so we'll see where he's going to cycle out of the pits. whether it'll still be in the lead or not. Nope, it will not. Joey Logano is in the lead. Bell's still sitting in third right now. Blaney working his way out of the pit lane, up the hill. There goes Bell. So it looks like Blaney will cycle out in third place. And now he's on the attack on fresh tires. Him and Bell on pretty equal tires, but fresher tires than Logano. And the window is almost open to make it to the end of the race on fuel, but not quite there yet. Blaney dives it into the S's, barely clearing Bell with a clean pass. He got around him quickly, and he's up to P2. Trying to be the first of the drivers on fresher tires to try and run down Joey Logano in the 22 car. Larson's back to 34th now. What a fall from grace he has had after finishing top 5 in each of the first 2 stages tonight. So although Blaney has absolutely dominated as far as winning both stages and by far leading the most laps today, it is not won by any means. It is one pit stop to the end for everybody, and he's a few seconds behind Joey Logano, his teammate in the 22 car. Bit wide that time for the 12. The good news is with Blaney in second, as he just missed another corner. Two corners in a row, Blaney went really wide. Logano is the points leader. A max points day for Blaney would be big in trying to catch him, even if he doesn't close the margin much. Better than losing points like he has in the last 3 races. I just think he had the points lead 4 races ago after Richmond, and he lost the points lead, but he was only 7 back of Larson after Talladega. But in the last 3 races, 2 DNFs and a 21st place finish have dropped Blaney to 8th in the standings. Still got time to try and win that regular season championship, but he's going to have to go on a tear to the end of the regular season to do so. Really needs to start to be perfect every time through the S's. He's really only missed it a couple times. He hasn't completely missed it to where he's had to serve a penalty by any means, but just as far as not getting through there perfectly. And the reason why he has to get through there so perfectly is because he's that much better than everybody else when he does try to get through the S's. It's like there's a lap car right in front of Joey Logano that's holding him up. And I believe it's Ryan Newman, if I'm not mistaken. Fitting. Newman was a pit car in NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 with Penske. Nothing is different in NASCAR 21 Ignition with Roush. Still the same old Ryan Newman. Logano was able to get around him on the main straightaway, but you could definitely tell that Blaney has closed the gap quite a bit on the 22 this lap. And window is open, 17 to go this time by. It's as far as Blaney went last time on fuel. Blaney's picture has done a pretty solid job today. Not the fastest, but they haven't been slow either. So Garrett Jones is going to pit. Newman in front of Logano. So I guess Jones was the first lap car, but now Ryan Newman is really holding up Logano, who stays out of the pits again. Back to the start-finish line. Logano will get underneath of Ryan Newman. 17 laps to go. Blaney hard into turn 1, trying to outbrake that's a 16, sorry, not the 6. The graphics, even in this new game, are so bad in today's race. Everything's so pixelated that it's even hard to tell who's who. Should not be saying that about a video game that came out in 2021. Here comes Blaney. Closes on Logano. After Casgrala held him up quite a bit that last lap there. That was a lot of contact between the 22 and the 12. What is that? About the 4th different time these two have made contact today? They've battled hard for position all day. Probably harder than what they battled anybody else. Blaney bleeds the brakes. Oh, but he gets it back into the throttle too soon. Had to lift to keep it out of the grass. Didn't want to risk spinning the car out there. And Joey Logano will pull. Blaney not quite within drafting range. Drives in a lot deeper than Logano, which allows Logano to win the race back to the gas, but Blaney definitely closed a lot more than what Logano pulled away, and again they make contact. Blaney nearly spins out in the aftermath of the initial contact with the 22. Blaney wins the race back to the throttle now, and again he's on the inside. 22 pinches him off. When will Logano pit? Not going to be this time. Blaney into the final corner, sends it. Clear. Logano with a crossover, back to the inside. And he got him back. Logano led that lap by about a half a car length. Into turn 1, Logano blocks the inside. Blaney will try to undercut the corner by starting wide. He's definitely within striking distance to get around Logano in the S's. Has to time it well. See if Logano can throw a block. Blaney gets alongside Logano. And they again make contact. And they're not done yet. You wouldn't think that these guys were teammates. Oh my goodness. All of it has been Blaney's fault too. It has not been... Oh, Logano's in the grass. Blaney's nearly in the grass. On the outside goes the 12. 22 on the bottom. That'll be interesting. That's an interesting question, Santiago Kid. With the next-gen tires, I honestly have no clue. I would probably think not, because this car is more suitable for road courses. But you never know. Just have to wait and find out. I didn't hear of any issues from practice earlier. I didn't get to watch it. Well, contact's still not done. And Logano just got knocked out of the way. Blaney couldn't get the car slowed up. Both the 22 and the 12 are making a ton of mistakes right now. Bunch of undercuts and overcuts. And we still have 15 laps left. And they both still have to pit yet in this race also. Again, Blaney to the bottom. Clears Logano into turn 2. Joey has the edge. Where will Blaney try to get by? He can't get by him. He gets into the back of him. Not hard. Now he runs into the side of him. These guys have been driving like his last lap every lap. I'm surprised Christopher Bell hasn't caught him yet. At this race, at this rate, it probably wouldn't be long, and Logano and Blaney are going to get ran down, and they are definitely using their tires up a ton right now as well. It's their discretion of when exactly they want to pit, though. Power slid. Again, Logano stays out on the racetrack. There's been no lap traffic since the 12. Caught the 22. Oh, no, he turns it. Blaney stalled out. Blaney leads. Bell to second. Joey Logano gets cleaned out by his teammate. 14 to go. Blaney checked up, but he couldn't check up in time. He was still coming in hot. He ran into Logano so many times over the last couple laps. And that was bound to happen eventually, and I'm surprised they went that long before somebody got turned. Unbelievable. Hate to see that happen, but like I said, it was bound to happen eventually. All the contact they were making lap after lap. No caution came out. We stayed green. That's the first car we've seen spin all day today. And it was in a battle for the lead, coming to 14 laps to go. And it was between the Penske teammates of Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney. And again, remember that Logano is the points leader, and Blaney just blew that corner. Out in the Texas state flag painted area, and he has definitely used up his tires trying to race Logano. I'm sure Christopher Bell is probably on the attack. And no penalties so far. Hopefully it stays that way. When does Blaney pit? I don't think you want to be the last of the cars onto pit road. Definitely going to have to keep an eye on both Bell and Logano. If any one of those two pit, I think Blaney's going to have to come down with them. There's Bell, and Logano is still behind him. So none of the leaders pit that lap. Blaney's tires are used up already in this point in the run. I think he's going to pit very, very shortly. We'll have 12 laps to go when they work their way back to the start-finish line, this time by. Blaney's coming in hot again. Got the car to slow up a little bit at the end. Pushing hard as if he still got fresh tires. That obviously isn't the case anymore. Slipping and sliding. He's got to be careful he doesn't spin out anytime soon. Another big power slide up off the curb. Sad part is he pit with 17 to go, so he's only got about 5 or 6 laps on his tires. But he was battling Bell and Logano every step of the way, especially Logano. Every little bit of contact was probably rubbing those tires a little bit more as well. There's Bell. Logano right behind him. Blaney is still pulling away. He's all over the place. Cody Ware's the last car on the lead lap in 27th. Larson in 26th. Not all that much further up ahead of Cody Ware. Didn't think I'd be saying that tonight. Or ever. Unless it was a super speedway. This is most definitely not a super speedway. Just in case we get a caution, that's the only reason Ryan Blaney hasn't just short pitted this final run yet. Because if he pits and we get a yellow, wherever he ends up cycling off of the pit lane is probably where he'd restart. I'd have to imagine everybody would just stay out of the pits if we get a caution flag, because we're only going to have a couple more laps to go by the time we would go green. We're down to just 11 laps left as it is right now. You saw Cody Ware go a lap down off the final corner. 20-turn road course. Elliott is a must-have at COTA. I mentioned earlier in the week he's my pick to win. That has not changed yet. Chase Elliott's my pick to win this weekend. I'm spoiling it now. Not even saving it for the predictions video tomorrow. There's a lot of lap traffic up ahead, too. Kyle Busch is towards the rear of it also, so that's two drivers in the top 5 in points. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch, who are outside the top 20, running 25th, 26th. Tyler Reddick, who started on the pole, is 24th. Amazing how far those guys have all fallen back. I don't even think Busch was in the top 10 at the end of stage 2. I think he finished 11th or 12th. Don't have that speed they had when they were trimmed out in qualifying. Despite the fact that track position matters a ton on road courses. As many cars as Blaney's passed today, I think he's kind of defied that logic for tonight at least. One of those random occurrences where one driver is able to overcome it. Granted, he's had fresher tires all but one time, but still starting 22nd and still able to win Stage 1 in a 15-lap stage is pretty impressive. A little bit of damage at the beginning of Stage 2, but the car hasn't been completely slowed up in any way, shape, or form. I would assume it had to have knocked some speed out of it, but not that much. Again, if any at all. Well, this is it. Just 10 laps to go for Ryan Blaney to try and sweep the stages and get the win at Circuit of the Americas. Just the second road course race this season. Blaney will be starting on the pole in tomorrow's race in real life. Kyle Busch sliding in through the S's quite a bit. Blaney coming in hot. Stays off of Busch. It'll make a nice clean pass to put Kyle lap down. Now the other Kyle Larson's the last car in the lead lap. Right in front of Blaney. Blaney sends it and just doors the 8 of Reddick out of the way. Larson gets by Reddick. Well, he's been doing that a lot in this final stage. May come back to bite him in another race. Hopefully not. I have a bad feeling it will. Especially knowing my luck with this game. Really anybody's luck with this. Has anybody had good luck with this game on a consistent basis? I'd really like to know. There's no way anybody consistently wins race in and race out on this game. There's just no way. I mean, you look at it. Our custom schedule season, I won 5 races the whole season. I've only won 4 this year, which is actually more considering that we're only 13 races in. This is race 14. We might win a 5th. So we're definitely doing better here than what I did in my custom schedule season. But still, that's how hard this game is that even I'm struggling to win races on a consistent basis whatsoever. We didn't even make the round of 8 of the playoffs. And I know I'm doing full races, so that definitely works against me too. But still, I trust my ability. When you look at NASCAR 05, which is, you know, the AI competitiveness and everything, it's a much better game. And we only have a 7-point lead halfway through the season. It's going to be tough to win that championship, but this game, though, it's just, it's hard for all the wrong reasons. That's the sad part. It's hard because, not because the AI race you clean and they're just tough. I mean, they're tough and they don't even race a right line. Won 9 races as Hamlin. I did win, I think, 8 or 9 races in the 48 car on the career mode. And we had 3 races to go. So I did have more success there. Then he gets around to Benedetto on the outside. That was a power move. That was even before they got into the braking corner. I like that Quaker State paint scheme for Matty D. Not as good as the one Paul Menard had in 2018 at Kentucky. That was one of my favorite green paint schemes of all time. Got to see that car in person too. That was pretty slick. Quaker State schemes have always looked nice. Even on Steve Kinser's sprint cars back in the day, that was a pretty nice looking car. For anybody that knows him. Knows of him. Ryan Blaney's going to pit this time by. It's going to split this final run in just about half. Maybe a little over half. He would have less laps to go to the end of the race now than what he would have had before this. So Blaney will pit. 4 tires and fuel. Final stop of the day. So this is the money stop for Ryan Blaney. Short pitting to the end. 8 laps to go. He had to pit. He was going to be about 2 laps short on fuel. And he is in. Now they got to hope for no mistakes. And a very fast and efficient stop as well. Fiber fast internet. That sounds like a fiber fast. Sounds like a granola bar. An oatmeal company. Or a bland tasting cereal. Fiber fast. So Blaney is going to cycle out in third. Logano and Bell are ahead of him, but I don't believe they've made their final stop yet. So Blaney has fresh tires. Now he's just hoping he could cycle ahead of Logano and Bell when they end up pitting. We'll have to keep an eye on the leaderboard. Blaney going a bit wide there. Yeah, we've been hitting Stenhouse every time we've pitted tonight. I think he's been in there since we pitted the first time during the stage 1 break. So in total, I believe that was the 5th pit stop of the race. Could have made it on 3 or 4, but he pitted during the stage breaks. Take the advantage while you can, I guess. So barring no penalties for missing a chicane or anything of that nature, no speeding penalties under any of the stops tonight. 3 of them were under green flag conditions for Blaney, and then 2 during the stage breaks. No cautions for incidents so far. This is the race. Now the 12 has to just make sure he runs down the 20 and the 22 to end this losing skid and go to victory lane for the 5th time this year and have that first max points day of the season. Or will it be Bell winning race number 3 of the season for him? Or can Logano win race number 2? If Bell wins this race, that'll be 3 wins in the last 5 races for Christopher Bell. Went back-to-back at Dega and Darlington. Last 2 races, he wasn't able to go to victory lane, but a chance today as he leads late. Remember, he's only ahead of Logano because Logano had spun out. Blaney's just pushing way too hard right now. He needs to back the corners up. He's got fresh tires, but he's expecting too much out of them. Seven laps to go. When will Logano and Bell pit? I have no clue what you're talking about, Fur Express. I have zero clue what you're talking about. How about Anthony Alfredo still running in the top 10? Again, Bell was on a similar strategy to Ryan Blaney. there is a chance if he pitted one lap after the 12, which I don't believe he did, because when Blaney cycled out of the pit lane, Bell was on the track and had just passed him. And Blaney got around him within about a half a lap. So there it is. Never mind. Blaney and Logano both came into the pits that last lap. So with 6 laps to go, Ryan Blaney will take the lead once again at COTA. Pitted about 2 laps before Logano and Bell. He'll cycle out in front of him. And now it's his race to lose. So, smart move, not risking the strategy play tonight. Making it 2 stops just like the rest of the field. He could have had a shot to make it on 1, but he didn't want to risk running out of gas potentially on the final lap or even midway through the race trying to make it on just the 1 stop and stretching that first run. Oh, was that this year? If it was this year, I definitely wouldn't have seen it because I was at the 500. Any other year, I probably just didn't pick up on it. I don't remember it. I could see that happening though. I could picture it really. Joseph Den, welcome to the stream. Game better now. I've been wanting to buy, but hearing so many glitches or bugs on the game. Yeah, the game is not fixed by any means. Honestly, they barely fixed it at all, to be completely honest. It's just not worth buying. I know it sucks as a NASCAR fan. Trust me, if I were in your shoes and not a content creator, I'd want to buy it too and probably would have bought it just because I'm a huge NASCAR fan, but I could definitely tell you I wouldn't be playing it right now. I would have put it away after the first couple attempts of trying to play it and never picked it back up again. Unless I heard otherwise. Or tried to get my money back or something. That's probably what would have actually happened. So was it like a local ad then? Means you live in Florida? Because I wouldn't get your guys' local ads. And using the excess pavement to get around Cody Ware on the outside. We're still in 27th, and he'll go a lap down again. Blaney working his way right around him. Looking down this long straightaway, waiting to see if Christopher Bell or Joey Logano are going to pop up anywhere. I don't think I saw him back there, so Blaney's still looking pretty good. Barring no overtime restart late in this race. I'd like to get to the white flag as soon as possible. Oh, you live in New York. Oh, you're in Florida. My bad, my bad. I thought when you said I'm in Florida, that meant like you actually live there. My bad on that one. Chase Elliott's in 20th too. That's 3 drivers in the top 5 in points and 4 in the top 10 that are 20th or worse in the running order today. Good day for Ryan Blaney to have a good day. Not going to gain much on his teammate Logano in the points, considering Logano is either in 2nd or 3rd. It looks like Logano actually cycled ahead of Bell in 2nd place. Just think, though, the 12 and the 22 were battling for the lead before Logano spun off the final corner, coming to 14 laps to go, with help from Ryan Blaney. Logano checked up, trying to back the corner up to maybe get the exit speed, and Blaney coming in hot at the same time and ran right into the right rear of Logano, turning him. 4 laps remain. I will say the race was an interesting one, to say the least. There was definitely some battles for the lead throughout. Sporadically, the restarts were crazy. Which we didn't have many because there were only 2 stage breaks and no cautions for an actual incident today. But there were definitely some moments. A bit anticlimactic here at the end. But there were moments throughout the course of the race where it definitely made it intriguing. End of stage 2 is very exciting. Waiting to see if Bell was going to end up pitting before the end of the stage or if he was going to try to risk it on fuel. He ended up pitting. That gave Blaney the stage 2 win. By the way, Blaney's last lap only about 0.3 of a second off his fastest lap of the race. So he is putting together some extremely fast lap times. Corey LaJoie has just been passed by Elliott for 19th place on the racetrack. Hard 90, and now we'll have 3 laps to go at the start-finish line. A really clean lap for Blaney. That was his fastest lap of the race, a 2:12.712. It's just amazing how drivers are able to save their best stuff for the end somehow, some way. When you know that Blaney was pushing hard throughout the course of the race, if he wasn't pushing hard, he wouldn't have been close to Logano when he had accidentally turned him earlier in the race. It's just crazy. I don't know if this lap is going to be a potential fastest of the race, considering that he has closed in on Tyler Reddick in front of him. Reddick in 19th place right now as well. Lenny coming in hot. Just decided to go wide instead of taking out the 8 car. Smart move. Not racing Reddick for anything right now. If anything, Reddick might be racing the 12 car harder. Well, Blaney would be racing Reddick, considering that Reddick was going to try to stay in the lead lap in case we got a late yellow, but now he'll go a lap down anyway. And Blaney will start the pole. Matt Benedetto in 18th, last car in the lead lap. 2 to go at the line. 19 people watching the stream right now. 23 likes. Smash the like button. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. 2 laps to go at COTA. Live commentary on the channel tomorrow night. Or tomorrow afternoon, I should say, for the actual NASCAR Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas. Blaney just gonna nearly go off course in turn 1. Kept it on. Barely. Got a pretty substantial lead over Joey Logano. It looks as if it's likely going to be a 1-2 finish for Penske. He ran right at the side of Benedetto. Oh, man, and he just turned the 21. Oh, my gosh. That is the second Penske affiliate that Ryan Blaney has accidentally turned in the race today. He got into the side of him into the S's. And Benedetto was still slow, rounding turn 6, and Blaney finished off the job there. That's tough. Blaney's going to win the race, but he is going to have a word with Roger Penske at the end of it, I'd have to assume as well. A few more corners and the white flag will be in the air, and the next flag would end the race, whether it's the yellow or the checker. Good thing a caution didn't come out with the Benedetto spinning there. Only the second car we saw spin today, and it was off the front bumper of Blaney both times. I don't think Blaney's going to be able to catch another lap car in this race. Should have nothing but clean air to the finish. Then again, there is a lot of traffic up there. They are battling. Elliott inside the top 15 now. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Ryan Blaney leads. Gotta say, though, there's no better way than to end a losing drought than to win both stages and win the race. Blaney definitely had the fastest car in the field today, and he took it to full advantage. He's just over a half a lap away now from victory lane. Got the job done. He's going to close in on the regular season point standings, and he may move up higher than just 8th place, which he came in the regular season standings. 4 drivers ahead of him in points, running 14th or worse right now. And the fact that Blaney's going to sweep the stages and win. 3 of them outside the top 20 still of Kyle Busch, Tyler Reddick, and Kyle Larson. I think I saw Martin Truex Jr. outside the top 20 also. That would be another one. He comes into the race 3rd in points. Luke Seltzer, welcome to the stream.
Got 1 left.
Michael McDowell pinching Blaney. Looks like McDowell's going to go a lap down. I didn't think Blaney was going to catch anybody else, but I guess he did. 2 more left-handed turns. A hard 90, and then a cut to the start-finish line. It looks like Chase Briscoe's going to go a lap down in the final corner as well. Checker flag is going to be waving. Ryan Blaney will win his 5th race of the season. And he'll sweep both stages and win at COTA. First time he has won both stages and the race this season. First max points day of the year. And there's a look at our official results to today's race. Gonna get rid of my face cam here for a quick moment so I can take the screenshots for points paying purposes. And we'll go through this together. Ryan Blaney with the win. Joey Logano will end up finishing in 2nd. Christopher Bell 3rd. Denny Hamlin 4th. Kurt Busch will round out the top 5. Ross Chastain with a good run in 6th, of both Ganassi cars in the top 10. Anthony Alfredo had a stellar day today, ended up finishing 7th. He was on the same pit strategy as both Bell and Blaney. Chris Buescher ends up finishing 8th, Alex Bowman 9th. Cole Custer rounds out the top 10 today. And I believe the only driver who failed to finish this race was Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And I thought Eric Jones was out earlier, but I guess he was not. But he did finish a couple laps down in 39th. Looks like margin of victory was 39 seconds over Joe. I don't know how accurate that is. You wouldn't think it's accurate considering that it wasn't that far ahead when the pit stop started. He took the lead away from Logano with 14 laps to go. So you mean to tell me in 14 laps we gapped Logano by 39 seconds? That just doesn't seem right. Regardless of the fact that it is a win for Blaney, that is one thing that will not get taken away. Ryan Blaney with the W. Go through the rest of that real quick. I didn't get all the screenshots I needed. There we go. And we get to see Ryan Blaney in victory lane. It's like they got that Dex Imaging Ford Mustang all patched up. I was gonna say, I don't think I have that diecast. Might have to get it. Might have to get it. I have a 164 scale Dex Imaging diecast, I know for a fact, but I don't have a 124 scale one. And that is going to wrap it up tonight. That's the final video game live stream for the next couple days. Again, tomorrow afternoon at COTA, we will be live on the channel for a real race commentary. Once again, live commentary of the race. That starts at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you then. If you want any in-depth analysis with the predictions before the race begins, tune in at 2:45 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Pre-race live stream will be on as well. We'll talk all things fantasy, get you updated there. I have my power rankings for the first time this season. Now that we're a few races into the year, a handful of races, got a good gauge of maybe some of the championship favorites early in the season. Drivers that maybe are just outside the top 10. We'll talk about that and more in tomorrow's pre-race. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope to see you and watch the race with you guys tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday night, everybody.